So I'm about to speak a new magic spell into creation, because one thing that I'm noticing is, I'm like going through the math of what could be potentially going on in the background. I feel like there's these things that keep trying to mess with my soul. I've already established that my soul is my body, and what I'm getting to is now realizing that suppose that I know a body takes an operating system to run, right? So if I know every single word that that body might utilize to try to operate, then essentially I can take over that soul, because I can speak all those same words that control that soul, right? So what you guys have been teaching me all this time, that you guys have been here attacking my body and my mind and my coherence and the balance between my body's and my mind's coherence, essentially has been the same context. So what it made me think about was, how could I capture your guys' soul using the same method that you guys are using to capture our soul? And essentially it's just figuring out just the words that you guys are using to operate the body, right? The words you guys are conditioning to become responsive or automated with the body, because that's what conditioning is, right? So essentially, think about it. You guys can capture souls now. You guys have had a teacher constantly hounding you guys to learn what they have been pretty much exercising on you guys. So they've taught you guys not only how to, make your soul being embodied, or that you embody, make it feel like it doesn't count, and make someone else's soul feel like it counts more. So essentially, the theory of love, of putting oneself before another, is what's being weaponized in the spirit. So all this reactivity stuff, all this get them to respond this way and that way. Every time I did that internally, I'd always feel like a thought of judgment would arise inside of me, Like in that moment, all of a sudden, my consideration for other people would awaken. In that moment, all of a sudden, my visualization of other people would awaken. And in that moment, all of a sudden, because of those two things having activated, whatever feelings would rise would make sense. Or at least you would think that they should make sense. But like I said, look at it. Here we are observing something that has learned how to capture the soul, at least brainwash you into believing it, just by making you ignore yourself. Not only because internally they're possessing you, so they're like having you dwell on thoughts and ideas that they've already conditioned into you, so that way made possession irrelevant. Once you've learned to possess yourself and conditioned you to possess yourself, then possession becomes irrelevant. You become the thing that holds the problem without the problem being real. So when people come sniffing, who's possessed? What's possessed? It's just your conditioning. It's just your behavior. They use you as an excuse, because whatever spiritual entity was there programming you, conditioning you, working in the background, has accomplished their job. So essentially, we learned that it was conditioning, right? Words, capturing the soul. So is that why they separated us from talking to our children, so we wouldn't capture our children's souls? Because think about it. If you guys in the spirit have spent so much time brainwashing me just to try to capture my soul, then when we have kids and we don't spend time talking to them all day, every day, especially if they find it, content or, pleasing, benefiting, essentially what we're learning to do is to possess our own children. Think about it. This is what they're doing right here. I've had mommy and daddy floating around me for like the last couple years, teaching me all about soul possession, conditioning my body. Like I was wondering why they were taking so long, Why are you guys taking 5 years, 10 years to try to do whatever you guys are trying to do with my life? But now it makes sense, right? Build the possession mentality in me, put words and ideas and videos out there talking about possession. All the while, it's just a conditioning, as a matter of fact. You can call it a shadow. You can call it words when they've already been spoken and people are still stuck on the meaning, trying to hold on to something that's already carried away. Huh? So hopefully you guys found that very much enlightening. I know I did. And I look forward to these continuous aspects of my conditioning with this reality. Yeah? Or part of.